Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare wheat pennies. These classic coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties, their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today. We're diving into the fascinating story of a small coin with a huge reputation, the 1944 wheat penny from the United States of America. Now, don't let its size fool you. This tiny piece of copper carries a big story, and for the lucky few, it could carry an even bigger price tag. So grab your magnifying glass, settle in, and prepare to uncover the secrets behind one of the most talked about coins in American numismatic history. Let's begin with a little journey back in time. The year was 1944. The world was still at war, World War II to be exact, and the United States was fully mobilized, both on the battlefield and on the home front. Metal was in high demand. Steel, copper, and other resources were redirected toward the war effort. In fact, just 1 year earlier in 1943, the U.S. Mint made pennies out of steel coated with zinc to conserve copper for ammunition and other military supplies. But in 1944, things changed again. The Mint returned to using copper for the penny. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all 1944 pennies were created equal. The vast majority of 1944 wheat pennies were struck in copper. Using recycled shell casings from the battlefields, a powerful symbol of peace in the making. These coins were produced in massive numbers, over 1 billion, in fact. So you might be wondering, if there were that many made, what makes one so special? Well, here's where the magic begins. Among those billions of coins, a handful came out different. Some 1944 wheat pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from the previous year, planchets that should have been removed from the minting process. These steel cents were never meant to exist in 1944, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after. Imagine holding one of these by mistake, not knowing you had a treasure in your hands, and that's just one type of rarity. There are also error coins, those beautiful mistakes that collectors dream of finding. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins with weak strikes, these unintentional flaws can turn a common penny into a rare and valuable collectible. Each error tells its own story, and no two error coins are exactly alike. It's like having a fingerprint from history, frozen in copper or steel. Now, let's talk about the design that gives this coin its iconic look. On the front, or obverse, you'll see the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner. This design first appeared in 1909 to mark Lincoln's 100th birthday and has become one of the most beloved coin portraits in American history. Lincoln's stoic gaze and the simplicity of the wheat penny's design have made it a timeless classic. Flip it over, and on the reverse, you'll find 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. A nod to American agriculture and prosperity. The phrase e pluribus unum arches above, reminding us of unity and diversity. Now, let's bring it home for all the collectors watching. If you're a coin enthusiast, the 1944 wheat penny is a must-have in your collection. Not just because of its beauty and historical significance, but because of the slim but exciting chance, that you might own a version of it that's worth far more than face value. Imagine checking your old coin jar, flipping through your grandparents' collection, and discovering that shiny, or even slightly worn, wheat penny stamped with 1944. You get it tested. You get it graded, and it turns out to be that rare steel version or a rare error coin. And that's when the real excitement begins. So, how much can one of these rare 1944 wheat pennies actually be worth? Get ready, because this number might just blow your mind. If you happen to own a rare 1944 wheat penny struck on a steel planchet, and it's in exceptional, mint state condition, authenticated, and verified, it could be worth as much as $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny, worth $81,000. That's the dream, isn't it? To turn a forgotten coin at the bottom of a drawer into a life-changing discovery. So take a second look at those old pennies. Don't overlook the ones that look a little different, a little off, or even a little too ordinary. Because sometimes, the rarest treasures come in the most unexpected forms. Top 2, we're unraveling the story of one small copper coin that could change everything. The 1949 wheat penny from the United States of America. This isn't just another old coin rattling around in your pocket change. It's a time capsule, a collector's dream, and for some lucky individuals, a potential goldmine hiding in plain sight. So grab your favorite coin magnifier, lean in close, and prepare to be amazed. Because what you're about to hear could have you running to your old coin collection faster than you can say Lincoln. Let's set the stage. The year is 1949. America is recovering from the Second World War. Industry is booming, and families across the country are settling into a new era of post-war prosperity. Amid this backdrop, the United States Mint continued its long tradition of producing the iconic Lincoln Wheat penny, a coin that had already become a symbol of American resilience and everyday life. Now, at first glance, the 1949 Wheat penny might not seem like anything special. Millions were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco that year. In fact, between all three mints, hundreds of millions were produced. But here's the thing that every true collector knows: rarity isn't always about quantity. Sometimes it's about quality. Sometimes it's about errors. And sometimes it's about surprises hidden in the smallest of details. Let's talk about the design. On the obverse side of the 1949 penny, you'll see the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right, his face dignified and determined, a portrait first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The simplicity and strength of this image have stood the test of time, and it's a staple of American coinage. Flip it over, and you'll see the classic wheat ears design framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto, E pluribus unum. It's clean, bold, and unmistakably American. That reverse design is what gives the wheat penny its name and its charm. But now let's dig into what really gets collectors excited: errors and rarities. The 1949 wheat penny has its fair share of fascinating minting anomalies that can drive its value through the roof. Some of the most desirable examples are struck with double die errors, where the design elements are imprinted twice, causing noticeable doubling in the letters or numbers. Imagine looking at your penny and seeing the date or the phrase "In God We Trust" with a ghosted, doubled effect. That's not damage, it's a minting mistake. And collectors love it. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design isn't perfectly aligned with the coin's round surface. These off-center errors can range from slight misalignments to dramatic, eye-catching flaws. The more extreme and the more visible, the better. Let's not forget planchet errors, like wrong metal compositions or clipped edges. In very rare cases, a penny might have been struck on a foreign planchet or a leftover blank from another coin series. These accidental combinations are incredibly scarce and turn a regular coin into a collector's treasure. And of course, condition matters, perhaps more than anything else. A 1949 wheat penny found in everyday change might be worth a few cents or a couple of dollars. But if you come across one in mint state condition, with its original red luster and no signs of wear, now you're talking serious value. Collectors dream of finding that perfect piece, tucked away in an old coin roll, hiding in a forgotten box of pocket change, or resting in a family coin collection handed down through generations. Because once that coin is authenticated, graded, and confirmed to have one of those rare errors or pristine finishes, its value skyrockets. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. You might be thinking, how much could one little penny from 1949 possibly be worth? If you have one of these rare 1949 wheat pennies, especially one with a high-grade mint state or a rare error like a double die or off-metal strike, you could be holding a coin that's worth as much as $79,000. That's right. One penny, worth $79,000. A coin that might have once bought a piece of candy, now holding the value of a luxury car or a down payment on a house. This is the magic of numismatics. The thrilling possibility that something small and forgotten might be worth a fortune. So before you toss your change in the jar or overlook that old roll of pennies in the attic, take a closer look. You never know which coin might be your ticket to a stunning discovery. Top 3, we're talking about a seemingly ordinary coin that has turned into an extraordinary find for collectors around the world. Yes, we're diving deep into the world of the 1952 wheat penny from the United States of America. This little copper coin might look like something you'd find in your grandpa's change jar. But hang on tight, because what we're about to reveal could turn a simple penny into the centerpiece of your collection, and maybe even into a once-in-a-lifetime payday. Let's take a step back in time to the year 1952. It was a post-war America filled with optimism and change. Dwight D. Eisenhower was elected president, television was entering homes across the nation, and rock and roll was just beginning to shake things up. And during this vibrant period of American history, the U.S. Mint was busy striking the coin we're focusing on today, the humble yet powerful Lincoln wheat penny. On the surface, the 1952 wheat penny doesn't scream rare or valuable. In fact, it was minted in large numbers, over 186 million at the Philadelphia Mint alone, plus tens of millions more in Denver and San Francisco. With that kind of volume, it might seem like this coin is far too common to be worth a second glance. But as seasoned collectors know, it's not just the date or the quantity that matters, it's the details, the errors, and the condition that transform a common coin into a coveted collectible. Let's first talk about what makes the wheat penny design so special. The obverse features the legendary profile of Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president, whose leadership during the Civil War made him an enduring symbol of unity and strength. The design by Victor D. Brenner, introduced in 1909, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and what a choice Lincoln was. Turn the coin over and you'll see the classic wheat ears on either side, arching around the bold words 1 cent and United States of America. At the top, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, reminds us of unity through diversity. It's a timeless design, and for many collectors, the wheat reverse represents the golden age of American coinage. Now, let's get into the good stuff, the rarity and the errors that make the 1952 wheat penny such an exciting piece. Despite the high mintage numbers, not every 1952 penny was made perfectly. And in the coin world, mistakes can mean money. Some of the most valuable 1952 wheat pennies are those with minting errors. Imagine discovering a penny with a double die obverse, where parts of the design, especially the date and lettering, appear duplicated and slightly offset. This kind of error is dramatic, eye-catching, and extremely desirable among collectors. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting, causing the design to shift noticeably off to one side. The more extreme the off-center strike, especially if the date is still visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. Other rare varieties include clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a misfeed during production, or die cracks, which appear as raised lines from wear or damage to the minting die. These flaws tell a story, and collectors love coins with a unique backstory. And of course, condition is king. A 1952 wheat penny pulled from everyday change will likely show signs of wear, faded features, scratches, and dull surfaces. But if you find one in mint state condition, especially with its original red or red-brown luster still shining, its value can increase significantly. The highest graded coins are preserved in pristine quality, sometimes untouched since the day they left the mint, and they can be worth far more than face value. So how do you know if you have one of these gems? First, check the mint mark. A small D below the date means it was minted in Denver, while an S indicates San Francisco. No letter at all? That's Philadelphia. All are collectible, but when errors and condition come into play, any of them could be hiding a valuable surprise. Here's what makes this journey so thrilling. Millions of these coins were handed out in change, slipped into piggy banks, tossed into jars, or saved in albums. And many of them are still out there, waiting to be discovered. Imagine finding one tucked in an old box, hidden in a garage sale bag, or mixed in with your childhood coin collection. That's the thrill of numismatics, the chance that your ordinary could turn out to be extraordinary. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. You might be wondering, just how much can one of these special 1952 wheat pennies be worth? Well, if you happen to own a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny that's in flawless, uncirculated condition, especially one with a rare and dramatic mint error, you could be holding a coin worth as much as $77,000. Yes, you heard that right. A simple penny, worth $77,000. A coin so easily overlooked, yet so rich in history and potential value. That's what makes the world of coin collecting so addictive and so rewarding. So the next time you come across an old penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. Examine the date, look for oddities, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the lucky one who uncovers a rare piece of American history. Top 4. We're unlocking the incredible story of the 1953 wheat penny from the United States of America. At first glance, it might seem like just another copper coin, the kind you might pass over without a second thought. But don't let its humble appearance fool you. This small piece of currency carries a rich history, unexpected mysteries, and, in the rarest cases, the kind of value that could leave you speechless. Let's rewind to 1953. America was in the early years of the Cold War. Television was becoming a household fixture. Elvis Presley was preparing to change the music world, and in coin purses across the country, the Lincoln wheat penny was as common as apple pie. Minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, the 1953 penny circulated widely in a growing and optimistic post-war America. Now, you might be asking, if millions of these coins were produced, what could possibly make them rare or valuable? Well, let's begin with the design. On the obverse side, we see the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, stoic, determined, and deeply symbolic. This image, designed by Victor D. Brenner, has been a fixture of American coinage since 1909. Lincoln wasn't just chosen because he was a president. He was chosen because he represented unity, freedom, and strength. Flip the coin over, and you're greeted by two wheat stalks flanking the bold, 1 cent, and United States of America. It's a classic design, one that captures a timeless era of American resilience and simplicity. But as every true collector knows, it's not the most common examples that get your heart racing. It's the ones that break the mold. So what makes some 1953 wheat pennies so incredibly special? It all comes down to errors, variations, and condition. You see, during the minting process, things don't always go as planned. And those mistakes can become gold mines in the eyes of collectors. Let's start with double die errors. These occur when the coin is struck more than once in slightly different alignments. The result? Duplication on parts of the design, like the lettering or the date. It's subtle, but once you've trained your eye, you'll spot it, and collectors will pay top dollar for it. A 1953 wheat penny with a strong double die obverse is a dream find. Next up, off-center strikes. When a coin isn't properly centered during minting, you get a fascinating and visually striking error. Depending on how far off-center the strike is and whether the date is still visible, these coins can be incredibly rare and valuable. Then there are repunched mint marks. In 1953, mint marks were still hand-punched into the dies. That means slight misplacements and restrikes happened. A 1953 D or 1953 S penny with a clear repunched mint mark is another rarity collectors actively seek out. And finally, we have the ultra-elusive wrong planchet errors. Coins that were accidentally struck on metal blanks intended for other denominations or even foreign coins. These are exceptionally rare, and if you ever come across one, you're holding a numismatic jackpot. But here's the twist. Even without an error, a 1953 wheat penny can be worth a small fortune if it's in the right condition. We're talking about mint state pennies, coins that have never been circulated, still glowing with their original copper red shine. These are the coins that were pulled from circulation the moment they were minted, stored safely, and preserved over decades. Collectors grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70. A 1953 penny in MS 65 or higher, especially one graded as red, can fetch thousands of dollars even without any errors. Why? Because time wears down coins. To find one untouched by time is like discovering a snapshot of history frozen in perfect form. It's this combination of historical significance, design beauty, minting anomalies, and pristine preservation that gives the 1953 wheat penny its special place in the world of rare coins. So now you might be wondering, what's the big reveal? How much can one of these remarkable pennies actually be worth? Well, if you are lucky enough to have a 1953 wheat penny that boasts a dramatic mint error, or one in immaculate mint state condition, especially with that radiant red copper luster, it could be valued at as much as $75,000. Yes, that's right. A penny, just 1 little cent, could be worth $75,000. Isn't it amazing? The very same coin that once bought a gumball or a newspaper might now buy you a luxury car, or even become the crown jewel of your coin collection. That's the magic of numismatics, the thrill of discovery, the joy of history, and the possibility of fortune all wrapped into something as small as a single penny. So before you toss your old change in a jar, take a second look. You never know what you might find. That unassuming 1953 wheat penny could be your ticket to holding a piece of American history and maybe, just maybe, a small fortune. Top 5. We're talking about one of the final chapters in an iconic coin series, the 1957 United States wheat penny. Now, to the untrained eye, this penny may seem like just another old copper coin tucked away in a forgotten drawer, mixed in with paper clips and keys. But for collectors and numismatists who know what to look for, the 1957 wheat penny holds secrets that make it much more than pocket change. It's a coin that marks the end of an era, and in some rare cases, it's a hidden gem worth tens of thousands of dollars. So grab your magnifying glass and lean in close, because this isn't just about copper. It's about history, rarity, and the thrilling chase for one of the most intriguing pieces in American coinage. Let's start with some background. The year was 1957. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. Elvis Presley was topping the charts. The space race was heating up, and America was buzzing with energy and ambition. And through it all, the U.S. Mint was still producing the beloved Lincoln wheat penny, first introduced back in 1909. By 1957, this coin had been a part of everyday American life for nearly 5 decades. The wheat penny features the classic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor D. Brenner. It was the first U.S. coin to depict a real historical figure, and who better than Lincoln, the man who preserved the Union and abolished slavery? On the reverse side, we see the two iconic wheat stalks, symbolizing growth and prosperity, flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above that, the Latin phrase e pluribus unum reminds us of unity from many. Now here's the thing. In 1957, over 1 billion of these pennies were minted. That's right, hundreds of millions from the Philadelphia Mint and even more from Denver. So how could such a common coin ever be worth more than a few cents? Well, my friend, that's where the magic happens. Because not all coins are created equal. And among those billions of pennies, there are a few rare and special ones that stand out like sparkling diamonds in a field of copper. Let's talk about errors. You see, during the minting process, machines can sometimes make mistakes. And in the coin world, those mistakes can mean money. One of the most coveted errors for the 1957 wheat penny is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once with a slight shift between strikes, resulting in doubled images on parts of the coin, most often the lettering or the date. These double designs are extremely collectible, and the more dramatic the doubling, the higher the value. Another sought-after error is the off-center strike. These coins were not properly aligned when struck, which causes the design to shift dramatically to one side. If the date is still visible and the off-center percentage is significant, collectors will pay a premium for it. Let's not forget about repunched mint marks, or RPMs. Since mint marks were manually punched into coin dies back then, some of them show signs of being stamped more than once. A 1957 D penny, for example, might show 2 impressions of the D mint mark, one slightly offset from the other. These RPM varieties are rare and exciting for collectors. But wait, there's more. Some of the most valuable 1957 wheat pennies weren't even struck on the correct metal. In a few rare cases, planchets, the blank metal discs used to mint coins, meant for other denominations, accidentally made their way into the penny production line. This results in what's known as a wrong planchet error. Imagine a 1957 penny struck on a silver dime planchet. It's an incredibly rare mistake that turns an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Of course, condition is everything. A 1957 wheat penny that's been in circulation for decades, scratched and worn, will have little value beyond its face. But a penny that was never used, that still glows with its original mint red luster, could be worth a fortune. These are known as mint state red coins. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and only those graded MS 65 and above are considered high grade. If your 1957 wheat penny is graded MS 66 or even MS 67, you've got something truly special. Now here's where things get really exciting. With all these factors, rare errors, pristine condition, and limited surviving examples, it's no surprise that some 1957 wheat pennies have reached astonishing prices at auction. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. You're probably wondering, just how much could one of these incredible coins be worth? Well, if you happen to own a 1957 wheat penny that's in perfect mint state condition, with a rare error such as a double die, off-center strike, or a wrong planchet, then congratulations. You might just be holding a coin that is worth up to $72,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $72,000 for a single penny. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about metal. It's about history, craftsmanship, rarity, and the thrill of discovering something extraordinary in the most unexpected places. So next time you're digging through a jar of old change or flipping through a coin album that's been sitting in storage for years, look closely. Examine every detail, because the smallest coin could carry the biggest surprise. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the 1957 wheat penny, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more fascinating coin stories. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a future treasure. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting and happy collecting.